The Enclave is a prevalent faction throughout the Fallout series, and at that, one of the most popular among the fans, yet it still seems a lot of people have misinterpretations of many aspects of the Enclave, so I made this video with the intent to clear up the confusion. First up, we have the FEV toxin used by the Enclave. There's actually two different versions of this, the FEV Curling 13 in Fallout 2 and the modified FEV in Fallout 3. Yet a lot of people seem to think the Curling 13 strain is the same as the modified FEV from Fallout 3. It's similar but not precisely the same. The modified FEV is designed to kill all mutated humanoids, including super mutants and ghouls, but it's unclear if it would kill animals. The modified FEV was given to the player by John Henry Eden in Fallout 3, with the intent of it being administered into the water to kill the mutants of the Capital Wasteland. Fallout 3 being a lot of people's first Fallout, it's easy to see why a lot of people would assume Fallout 2's version of the toxin to be the same. However, the FEV Curling 13 in Fallout 2, while also a toxin used by the Enclave with the intent of killing all humanoid mutants, differs in the fact that it kills indiscriminately of mutation level. The FEV Curling 13 will actually kill you slower and more painfully the less mutated you are. In this instance, the Enclave produced an inoculation from the toxin to save themselves, as they plan to release the FEV Curling 13 into the airways, which would spread globally and eventually die out after killing all humanoids aside from the Enclave. The next misinterpretation is about the Enclave wanting to go to space. In the original Fallout 3, Van Buren, it was discovered that the Enclave's original plan was to leave Earth and go colonize another planet. However, as this game was cancelled and never released, the game is not canon, and there is no evidence that the Enclave planned to go to space in the current canon. The whole idea of the Enclave going to space isn't canon. That's not to say it couldn't still be true to some degree, but it just isn't confirmed. Lastly, we have the XO-1, or rather the XO-2. In the current canon, the XO-1 was developed pre-war. While it's not expressly stated that the advanced power armor seen in Fallout 2 and New Vegas is a different or more likely later model of the XO-1, it can be safely assumed so. The APA, while somewhat similar in appearance to the XO-1, has key differences that seem beyond the change to appearance of other power armors between art styles. There's also the change in the name, and just the time that the Enclave had to improve the XO-1. So it's a wonder why the Advanced Power Armor Mark II is sometimes referred to as the XO-2, and the Hellfire as the XO-3. This is likely due to the Creation Club APA Mark II being labelled XO-2. However, the Creation Club is not canon. The X in XO-1 would denote an experimental state, so the APA in Fallout 2 would indicate a finished model. That would mean that the APA Mark II would also be a finished model, especially to be deployed in the numbers it was in Fallout 3, so it would not be the XO-2. The only technically canon reference to an XO-2 was in the Vault 51 terminal entries in Fallout 76, but they were referring to the Hellfire power armor, and the terminal entries were updated within 5 days after the release of Nuclear Winter Mode to replace XO-2 with Hellfire Prototype. So the Hellfire Prototype may be the XO-2, however it is always referred to as the Hellfire Prototype, which falls in line with it not being part of the Advanced Power Armor series. At the very least, the Hellfire Power Armor is not XO-3, as it was developed before even the APA Mark II. To recap everything, first, the modified FEV in Fallout 3 will spread through the water and kill all mutants. The FEV Curling 13 in Fallout 2 will kill all humanoid life on the planet except for the Enclave as they are inoculated. Second, the Enclave wanting to go to space is possible but not confirmed canon. Third, the XO-2 and XO-3 likely don't exist. And finally, as a bonus, the belief that a few people seem to buy into a bit too much, that of Arcade Gannon referring to the Enclave as a fascist paramilitary organization. Calling the Enclave fascist is somewhat up to interpretation. By many definitions, it wouldn't be, as it has a democratic system of government. By others, it could be, but at that point most all factions in Fallout would meet that criteria, so the accusation becomes a bit pointless. Then there's the paramilitary part. The textbook definition would be a militarized organization that is not part of the nation's armed forces. Yet the Enclave are the remnant of the government, so their military would actually be the official armed forces of the United States still. or at very least the closest to being official out of the factions in the Wasteland, which would again negate the specific accusation as there isn't technically a nation left, except for possibly the Enclave as the US government.